Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Tanna Soccer Podcast. Today I am making my Premier League predictions. I am so excited and I hope you are too. But before we dive straight into the action, into the predictions, into the popular opinions and of course the unpopular opinions, please do not forget to consider subscribing to this channel as your subscriptions is what enables us to keep doing our work. Thank you. So diving straight into this, I think some already existing, and how do I put this the best way? Some mainstay Premier League teams are going to leave this season. Actually, 2/3 of the teams that I think will relegate this season didn't just get promoted. But let's go to the top of the table. We have Manchester City, we have Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, who are doing fantastically well, who have won the FA Cup, and now they defeated Liverpool just over a week ago to nip the Community Shield. We have Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes came in and transformed the side. They had the best record since the Portuguese midfielder made his debut. What's going to happen? We have Liverpool, the champions, who were absolutely magnificent last season. But after the break, they lost form, they lost games, they drew games. So what are we going to expect from here? And also their preseason as well hasn't particularly been very encouraging for Liverpool fans. We have Manchester City, very inconsistent last season. Got knocked out to Lyon in the Champions League. What's next? What's happening with them? Okay, they brought in Ferran Torres, they brought in Nathan Ake to shore up the back. But what's going to happen with them? We don't know. We have Tottenham Hotspur. Jose Mourinho now has a full season ahead of him to work. And he also has brought in players, also has the time to really select his squad and make this squad his team. So I'm expecting a very fantastic battle. It will not be allowed for Liverpool or Manchester City or Liverpool and Manchester City to give the rest such a massive gap. It doesn't speak well of the Premier League. It just shows like the gulf is too much. And now I didn't forget Chelsea Football Club. Okay, Chelsea Football Club. Wow, what a window they've had. They've brought in absolute quality into that side. And this side is now one of the best sides in the league. On paper. Because let's not forget they had some absolutely good players before. They had Kovacic, they had Conte, they had Jorginho. They had these guys, they had some fantastic young talent as well coming through with Abraham, Mount, and Rich James. So what's happening? So now it's time for me to make my predictions. Once more, do not forget to subscribe and like this video and comment below. Tell me what teams you think will relegate and what teams you think will make the top 4 and top 6, because that's what I'm predicting here today. No mid-table stuff here today, just the top 4 and top 6. So the action starts now. I think the 3 teams that will go down into the championship this season are Burnley, Fulham and Aston Villa. Burnley, very easy to explain this. This side hasn't strengthened, and of course Sean Dyche has done a fantastic job in making this side actually a top half side or a mid-table side in the Premier League. And I may be wrong, and I won't be surprised if I'm wrong about Burnley going down. I won't be surprised at all. But really, they've not done anything in the market, and everyone around them has strengthened. And apart from that, they've gotten significantly weaker. They've lost some players. They've lost players on a free to their direct rivals. So I don't see how this is going to help your case. And I think Sean Dyche has done a very fantastic job in keeping them in the Premier League for this long. But I think time may be up. The next up is Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa were fortunate to escape relegation last season. I won't say they deserved it because, okay, if you look at over 38 games, they got more points than the 3 teams that went down. Agreed. But they were on the edge. And I've seen the business they've done in the transfer market, and I'm not yet convinced that this is what is going to take them to that next level where they are going to be more like mid-table rather than relegation strugglers. So with this being said, I just think they'll run out of luck this season and go down. And the last team is Fulham. The same goes to Fulham. They have some good players in that side, and their last experience in the Premier League, they didn't spend long in the Championship, and now they are back again. And I'm expecting a reaction from a lot of the players there. As you saw, Mitrovic stayed with them. A lot of players stayed with them. Their captain, Tom Kearney, these guys, they all stayed with the team, and then they are better players now. They are more mature now, and I expect something from them. I expect them to have some good decent runs in the Premier League, but at the end of the day, I don't expect them to stay in the Premier League. However, I expect West Brom to stay in the Premier League. The signing of Grady Diangana is absolutely magnificent. This guy is a lightning winger, and he's someone that even people who didn't know him will get to know him now. He is some talent, and I think with the cast around Jake Livermore, all these guys, I think West Brom can't stay in the Premier League. So now go into the top. Go into the top. This is so difficult to predict. So difficult to predict. Now, I want to start from 6 to 1. Now, 6, Tottenham Hotspur. Sorry, Jose, sorry, but like, it's more about convincing me, you know. Like, and I think this side are a fantastic side, Tottenham. They have quality. They can make the top 4, of course. I can imagine how it will be if Kane is injury-free, Ali is injury-free, and these guys are firing. With all due respect to other teams, you don't really have so much of a say against these guys. We've seen it over the years under Mourinho, Pochettino. When these guys are at their best, they are good players. They are really good players. No denying them that. But then, I doubt this will happen because they won't be on form. The injuries and stuff like this, they always happen in Tottenham season. And at the end of the day, generally in the transfer market, okay, Matt Doherty was bought in and a few others, but then I'm still not 100% convinced. Joe Hart, Matt Doherty, these are good signings in their own different ways, respectively, but I'm not yet fully convinced that this is what will take Tottenham into the top 4. Let's not forget how good Chelsea are right now. Now, number 5, a lot of you are going to disagree with this, but it is Manchester United. This simple. I think they've shown that they can be really, really good, especially after Bruno Fernandes came into the Premier League and joined the side. He really elevated the side. But a lot of things that I saw about that side, I think over the course of 38 games now, fresh season and stuff, they might not just crack it. If they crack it, of course, I'm not going to be surprised at all. I think they are meant to crack it, okay? Because I'm going to be their chief. I'm going to be the chief in the criticism department if they don't, because I think they have to. They have to make it. But if they do, as I said, I won't be surprised at all. But I don't think they will, although they ought to make the top 4. Now, number 4 is Arsenal Football Club. Now, this is the first time in about, I don't know how many years I've given Arsenal to finish in the top 4. The reason is very simple. I trust Mikel Arteta right now. Like, it took me a long while. Arsenal fans really trusted him pretty quick because they saw a lot of good signs. I saw a lot of good signs as well. But I'm not so easy. I don't get won over so easy. It takes a bit of time for me to get won over, no matter who you are. Yeah, I think so. So like, but Mikel Arteta has finally won me over because Arsenal are now a difficult team to beat. And the truth about football is, if you're actually difficult to beat, if you're actually really difficult to beat as a side, then success is your portion, to be honest. Because this Liverpool side, behind the Salah, behind the Manes, behind the Bobbies, behind every flamboyant thing you see about this side that excites you about watching their football, the main component of this Liverpool Football Club side that has gone on to amass absolutely ridiculous point tallies over the last 2 seasons is that they are really difficult to beat. To be honest, that is their main trait. They are really difficult to beat. Like, they don't always score, they don't always blow teams. I'm watching Manchester City, you can see a side that is very attacking, very, very exciting, has more flair in the attacking department, and can always blow teams away. But this is not always Liverpool. Yes, they have this in them, but I think this team is more of difficult to beat. And this Arsenal side have shown this. And not just shown it, but shown it against the best. We've seen it against Manchester City. We've seen it against Liverpool in the Community Shield. We saw it in the FA Cup towards the end of last season against Man City, against Chelsea, against all this side. So at the end of the day, I think this Arsenal side have to make the top 4. Personally, if they don't make the top 4, I can't be surprised. I can't be too shocked about it because Chelsea are such a fantastic side. Manchester United are such a fantastic side. Liverpool, man, like, there's a lot of competition actually. And I'm not saying Arsenal must make the top 4 based off the actual quality in their squad. Yes, they have good players now. Then Ceballos coming back now and he's going to keep breaking the lines. We have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the most informed player in the Premier League at the moment. So like, I think, yes, they have good players, no doubt in that. But I don't think I'm saying they ought to make the top 4 based off maybe they have the 4th best squad or they have one of the top 4 best squads in the Premier League. Not that. I think based on what I'm seeing with this Arsenal side and Arteta, I think they should make the top 4. I think so. Now, going into number 3, I'm going to go with Chelsea Football Club. Last season, they were third for very, very long. And I think they were neck and neck with Manchester City and not too far away for a large part of the season. And at the end of the day, things deteriorated. It's all right, but they still made that final goal, which was top 4. Okay, no problem. Now they've strengthened. So I expect something more from this side. I expect them to do more than they did last season. Of course, the new signings may not all click at once because this is football. This is how it goes. But I expect them to. They've brought in some really good players. Akim, Timo, Kai Havertz. So like, I expect this side to do good things. And who knows what Chelsea can do this season. I expect them to be really close to the top, to be honest. To be really close. Even though they don't win the Premier League, I think they must compete. It's a requirement after you bring in such quality. It's the pressure that comes with the club, because if you were comfortably, because yes, towards the end of the season, Chelsea had some top four scares, but for virtually all season, they were comfortably in the Champions League spots. So this is not the problem. Now we're expecting a progression, and what is the progression from here? At least content to a large extent for the title, put in a real challenge, maybe fall short at the end or towards the end. You understand? But like put in a real challenge. And now for number 2, I have to go with Liverpool Football Club. Although something inside me won't be surprised if this side goes back to back, because it's just what they are. Last season was the same thing. No one really believed they would do it, or people gave them a chance rather, but it was more like they didn't do much in the transfer market. They brought in Adrian and 16-year-old Harvey Elliott, and then like people are expecting them to improve on their Champions League winning squad, and they didn't. Then they went on to win the Premier League, and now they've gone on to win the Premier League, and they're not strengthened. Now this is a bad thing. I think it's very bad. But what I think we shouldn't forget when we're analyzing the Liverpool Football Club is actually how good they are already. And when we think about their supposed lack of squad depth, it can look that way because a lot of their second fiddle players do not have the renowned names of maybe if we compare them to Manchester City, the kind of players you see on their bench, like the kind of name, like they are more known. But the players for Liverpool, in all fairness to them, they do the job. Like I know matches where Shaqiri has come in, he's done the job. Origi, of course, we don't need to talk about him. These other players, Neco Williams are right back, and they also got the left back, Simi Carlson. Now, Robo can get some rests. And the midfield, of course, the midfield has good depth, actually, really good depth. But the depth problem starts to look like, okay, maybe up front, that's the problem for them. But then, as I said, Origi has done good jobs, Shaqiri has done good job, Ox has. And it seems like this side just wins, like, even when this change is coming, it's clear that this is not the same Liverpool side. It's clear that there's a difference. It's clear that there's a drop in quality. But one thing remains, this side still wins games. So I think, I'm not afraid of this side for anything. But if they had strengthened in the summer, actually, and brought in new players, it would have brought them some kind of enthusiasm, like giving them a kind of charge, them and the supporters as well, and giving people more confidence in them to be able to defend their title. But this is a really good football side, let's not forget, and they are more than capable of winning it again. But I think they will go with second. And at first, I think Manchester City, because on paper, they're the best side in the Premier League, and even off paper, they're also the best side in the Premier League on their day. Last season, they suffered from consistency issues, but this can't always be the case, to be honest. They won't always be inconsistent. And I think last season was like a bad one where they are not happy about it. They're not happy with where they exited from the Champions League, They're not happy with anything that happened last season. Of course, they won the League Cup, but that seems like a formality now for Manchester City. They will want to win one of the big trophies, the Champions League, the Premier League. And I think this season they'll be back. They've strengthened in good areas. They have young lads like Phil Foden coming in, replacing veteran David Silva, who went to Real Sociedad, and a lot of other things. And Nathan Ake, the signing of Nathan Ake is very important. We know their struggles at the back last season. We know how it was for them without Laporte. And even with Laporte, not replacing Vincent Kompany in the first place when he left 2 seasons ago, it was very, very, very naive of Manchester City. So now I think they are in a really good position to really push. But who knows? There are a lot of things that may and can happen. But this is Tanna's prediction, and this is what I think will happen in the Premier League this season. See you at the end of the season. Do not forget to comment below what you think will happen, who will win the Premier League, who will make the top 6, who will make the top 4, who will get relegated. I'm really looking forward to interacting with you guys in the comment section. And once more, please subscribe. Thank you.